Ready to get us started, the Aussie punter and kickoff man, Michael Dixon. And off we go from Seattle. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. Well, the Bengals and Seahawks meeting here in Week 1, and this is a combination that we haven't seen that often on the turf. If you look back to when the franchises began facing each other all the way back in 1977, but since then, just 20 meetings between the two teams. And the Bengals have won 11 of them, including the last meeting back in October of 2015. Now a man open down the middle of the field. 22 yards there, a first down. A good grab there by the former Central Michigan man, Antonio Brown.
And he ate up some real estate on the catch, too, didn't he? I think the most impressive part of it, though, if there's a chance for him to get the football, even though he was covered well, he somehow finds a way to get it.
In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner, coming off a 3rd straight All-Pro season. From just shy of midfield, Dalton throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. It was Trey Flowers that time who got a hand in and broke it up.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
Under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The throw right sideline here is complete. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
Forced out to his left. And he's going to keep it here. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. He's got his man. That's Josh Gordon. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Here's Wilson. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal?
36 power.
From the shotgun, Wilson to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Myers' kick is good. Well, all offseason, probably a lot of thought goes into that first drive of week 1. They didn't get the touchdown, but at least they got something.
And what I like about it is that they didn't overthink it, because you're exactly right. A lot goes into the offseason, the preseason, to get to that first drive of the regular season. They went right downfield, mission accomplished, points on the board.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. Now a first down run is sniffed out from the start as he'll drop him for a loss of 4. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 14 upcoming. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it, and he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown.
What you just saw there, first-round talent, second year, even more success. A pick 6 for a touchdown.
A great play. And it's tough for these guys, you've told me before, to adjust in the secondary as a first-year guy. So that sophomore season is big for them.
They really started to expand the playbook for them even more. Sometimes they dumb it down a little bit to make them comfortable year 1. By year 2, they should have all the nuances, and now they've adjusted to the speed of NFL play as well.
Showed right there.
Let's go, baby. The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 23.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And now this pass brought in by Brown. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
And it's 3rd down.
Hands up, ladies. Right there, 54 Mike. Check right, check right.
Throwing, Dalton. And Eifert has it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
A gain of 19 yards.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Dalton with a give here to Mixon. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now, the Bengals on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. He is a difference maker at the linebacker position. He had a pick six last year, remember it. But it's different for those guys, isn't it, than a corner or a safety?
It certainly is, because sometimes they're pattern reading, seeing what the receivers are doing. Sometimes they're spot dropping, just getting to a place on the field and finding the quarterback and going to the ball. But remember this, these linebackers, at one time in their life, a lot of them were running backs. And they love having the ball back in their hands and making big moves towards the end zone.
And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Bengals take over first and 10.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And Dalton to throw. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. They call it no gain there on the first down play.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest, you can draft the most athletic guys, but if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Here's Kevin Huber now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Now he'll pull it down. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down. From earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Evans charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's Carson. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they'll indeed stop him on third down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? So we are at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Around the NFL, an update from a game going on down in Tampa. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Evans able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Check 24. Check 24.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Wilson. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Nick Vigil in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to fourth down. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. Got a man. It's Brown. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. A first down throw coming for Dalton. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Okay, partner. No surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
5 yards on the catch there. Brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. 7 yards there and a first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Check 26, check 26. Right strong. Grab on. Hey, easy. One left.
Wilson will throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jordan Evans able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Throwing is Wilson. Flush to his right. And this is incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Third and long, it's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to run, but he's got Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And the Bengals grab it. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys have to touch the ball and carry it. They're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our...
And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10.
They'll run on first down. It's Carson. Now Carson fumbles the football. And the Bengals grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last two, I know one person's blood... pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Check 56. We own them. We own them.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
This goes to the goal line. You got to be very careful when the offense calls rub routes. When I call a pick trying to screen you off from your coverage, does a nice job of avoiding that and helping force an incompletion.
This one into the hands of Metcalf. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carlos Dunlap, the Florida Gator, chopping his way to the quarterback. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17.
Check nine. One fluff.
Now it's Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no yardage.
Okay.
He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the fourth and final quarter. Now Wilson throwing on third and long. Left side here taken in by Metcalf. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right in midfield at the 50.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Now here's Michael Dixon. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this be who you are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they put out there.
Suddenly, it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll run for it with Lynch. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks capitalize on this short field as they take it in for 6. The extra point now coming from Myers. And the lead is now 24. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one. Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts him in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. From the gun, a give to Mixon. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a Bengal 1st down, a pickup of 11.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Dalton bootlegs out. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. So Dalton now. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Seahawks, first down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Now it's Carson. Big Andrew Billings there on the stop.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Come on, the ball.
That's a jet sweep into the hands of Metcalf. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
13 yards on the play. And the Seahawks, first down. First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
They run it with Carson. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Give him 2 yards on that one. Second and goal now.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Second and goal from inside the 5. They'll run with Marshawn Lynch. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Let's go.
The Bengals take over first and 10.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
Be honest.
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
You're not going to want that feeling.
no, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and all of a sudden here it's third down.
Third down.
So the victory here for Seattle. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense